What's going on,
What's
guys?
up, guys?
It's CandL.
Cotter and Lau.
We're back at it. A lot has happened in just a week span.
Oh my goodness.
With Joe Exotic. We were talking about Joe Exotic last
The
time.
Tiger King.
This documentary is amazing. I've said that enough, though. I think there was so much shit we left out last time.
Well, we just talked about the first episode.
That's the thing is, I didn't feel like I wanted to talk about a lot of it because I wanted you to get a chance to watch it. But you've seen the whole thing now, right? So, like, okay, most people have watched the whole thing. I forgot about when we were talking about the crazy things that Joe Exotic does, because that's the star.
Well, yeah.
There's 3 colonies. He's the main. He's such a character.
He's the most flamboyant of the bunch. Kind of, he really did kind of pioneer the whole, bring a cub, have everyone get to like kind of experience that, go around to different places. He kind of like invented his own way of, making money with
almost
Tiger
like
Cub.
he's exploiting the cubs and stuff.
Well, yeah, and that's
See,
and that's what Carol Baskins.
That's why Carol
feels and
Baskins
thinks
is
about
upset.
it. That's what brings in the whole
Yeah.
deal, and it's like, oh, they're making money off these tigers and blah blah. But you're sitting there with some sort of nonprofit.
She was
and
upset.
millions of people go through that thing and
She
whatnot.
was upset because she was told that the documentary was going to be about the exploiting of cubs and stuff.
And it was.
It was, but there was a whole episode dedicated to her and the mystery of her husband's death.
Right.
Because she got all the money.
Mm-hmm.
And they did show, like I said last time, the death certificate, like the will, where it says, in case this person goes missing.
In case of disappearance.
And feds were like, that's not normal.
Why do you write that? You expect someone to die, but you don't expect someone to disappear.
This documentary
20
blew
years,
up.
this motherfucker may just disappear. Write that in. How much should I fucking pay you on that retain? Write it in.
The thing is this documentary jumped from number 2 or 3 rated on Netflix to 1
to number 1
in a few days. Yeah. Like, it's blown the fuck up. Memes everywhere. This dude's famous now, but not in the way he wanted to be. After the documentary came out, because I'm going to tell you something. I signed a petition that is to, if not reduce Joe Exotic's sentence, to get him out.
Right. Or at least, like, take him and everyone else seriously and go fucking out and actually, like, open up her husband's case again.
The FBI did.
And start investigating this.
The FBI did. They opened up the case again, and I'm pretty sure she got raided. Like, I'm pretty sure they're not going to find anything, though, if they raid her. That's the problem.
Right.
Or she may have not have been raided because that you would need so much evidence. You would need so much of this and that. She could have done anything to that dude. And the stories aligned up with the mechanic who was working on the van. He said, he was talking about going to Costa Rica. And that was her thing was, he took a plane to Costa Rica. And they left the van at the, parked at the airport, the airplane hangar where he took off, allegedly took off. And the mechanic that worked on the car could have been paid off by her to say, because that's how they found the mechanic and interviewed him, because his fingerprints were on it. And he said, well, yeah, I worked on it, prior to him leaving, but he was talking about, hey, you should come to Costa Rica with me, So it kind of plays into that story. But I thought it was insane that they really don't have a lot of evidence, but they still opened the case. That's how big this documentary got. And I actually signed a petition that says it's trying to reduce Joe Exotic's sentence, because Joe, I don't feel like the punishment fits the crime. 22 fucking years for what he did is a little excessive. Nobody was hurt. He did engage.
Try to hire somebody. Like, he didn't, like, officially, like, go through the mob or anything like that.
He engaged in a redneck hitman.
Yeah, he paid some redneck with few missing teeth.
But Jeff and the other guy, I forget the guy's name.
$3,000.
They pretty much in that documentary admitted, I wanted him to say it. I forced it out of him so we could convict him, and then I could get the zoo. He's sitting there with his girlfriend or whatever, looking for the nannies at the end, and he finds that really hot one. He's like, "Oh yeah, this is the nanny." He looks like a jackass, basically. It wasn't cool. And everybody in this documentary had their problems.
Yeah.
But I feel like the more I watch Joe, like I found his YouTube channel and I'm watching a day in the life of Joe Exotic, and you're watching, maybe his podcast he had. And this dude is that person. He is that character. It's not for that documentary. Like, that dude is really like that.
Right.
What made me laugh so hard was he was talking to his employees like shit. Like, he just kept downing them, like, why don't you give them some of that kind of seed, or you don't give them this type of bird seed, you give them this type of bird seed. Read the fucking label.
Why don't you give me a scoop of this shit?
Yeah, give him a scoop of this shit maybe for once.
God.
Like, he said that, and the guy, kind of goes over there and scoops it, but he's like, he just downs him. He's like, y'all are fucking idiots. He's like, I got to do all the work myself, and he goes off, and but see, the thing about Joe Exotic is, I thought this was just a goofy show. He's he really ran that fucking zoo.
Man, he kind of...
I saw a video of him stitching a tiger up, a wound with a tiger, giving it penicillin and really involved in moving the tigers. There's an episode where the tornadoes are coming, because he's in Oklahoma, so there's tornado warning and stuff, and he locks all the tigers up that day into smaller cages. But what made me laugh is he's professional. He does all this, but his protocol, if the tornado hits the zoo, is they basically load up all the drugs, the medicine, the tranquilizers and stuff, and they load up the guns in a truck and they take off with it. And if the tigers escape, they shoot them all. They just go around popping them. That's their plan. That's the protocol. If the tigers get out and they can't round them up, they shoot them.
Shit.
I thought that was fucking nuts.
That's what we're gonna do. Them fuckers get out.
He was telling a first responder that in one of the episodes. He's sitting there and the camera's on him and shit, and he's like, yeah, we got a pretty good protocol. We'll just fucking kill the motherfuckers, They get out and we pop, right in the fucking head.
Fucking lightning strikes and tiger stripes.
He's the more I watched him, though, the more I like him. I did grow a bit of a liking for the guy.
Right.
Don Antle too. I mean, Don Antle's got his little sex cult, but he kind of you can see if you look at the bigger picture, he kind of stepped out of it.
Yeah.
He was on Theo Vaughn's podcast and they interviewed him. This thing blew up. David Spade's talking all the people from it.
Right.
Bert Kreischer was talking to Joe Rogan about it. It's blown the fuck up, like in a crazy fucking way. It's as big as Corona right now. You know what I mean? And it's a good thing. I think people needed that. People needed such an entertaining moment right now, and to laugh, and that did it. That was the funniest fucking shit I've ever seen. It's not under a comedy. That documentary is under true crime drama.
Yeah. Yeah, because it is. It's a true crime drama.
One of his husband's name's Travis. I don't want to be involved, but I am.
Well, just your name.
And how do you know it's not me?
Well, there's so many other people in the world named Travis. And they showed pictures of him. And that dude shot himself in the head.
He did, on accident. And the thing is at the funeral, I laughed so hard because I had forgotten about he's dressed like a
Joe's
priest.
Dressed like a priest.
And he's sitting there giving the eulogy. And he's like, yeah, he would walk up every now and then when I was on the computer and just put his balls in my mouth.
Just put them right in there.
Slap his balls on my mouth. And kind of got a giggle.
If you know him, he's a great person. He's got beautiful balls.
Yeah, he's got beautiful balls. I didn't.
If you know him, you've seen his balls. Everyone knows that.
I started listening to AC/DC and just bouncy balls everywhere. In case you didn't know, I'm very gay, and I love balls
and guns.
He's got big balls. She's got big balls. Travis has got the cleanest balls of them all.
Oh yeah. And he built him a little living memorial.
Yeah, it's for that 4-wheeler with his name and stuff. I like, other than the meth, other than the cons working there and coercing a plan against him, I did grow a liking for him. He's a very entertaining cat, dude. He could have done stand-up. Like, he could have got on stage and people would eat it up. Like, he is unintentionally funny.
Yeah.
He's not meaning to be. He's so catty. Like I said, when he's talking to his employees, like he's down talking them, he's like, you fucking idiots.
Let's give him a scoop of this every once in a while.
He gets
so hard.
Yeah, that's exactly how it was.
Who ate all the goddamn Hot dogs. Jesus, they're 3 weeks expired.
The USDA comes through in one of the episodes, and he's walking around with them, and he's talking shit about the USDA to the camera. He has those moments where it's like regular documentary, like it'll show, him walking around with them and telling them about the tigers and the protocol and what they feed them and the routines. And then it goes straight to him on the camera like, these fucking idiots don't know nothing about tigers, and I'm sitting here having to explain it to him. They don't know shit, and they're going to try to shut me down? Fuck no. Like, he's so catty. He's like, girlfriend.
These stupid sons of bitches.
The Waco comment blew my mind.
Oh, yeah.
He's dedicated.
Oh, it's going to be like a small Waco?
He was ready for war.
Oh, dude.
Jesus.
Tiger war. I saw a tiger in the tiger saw man. Lightning strike. Lightning strike.
In the lightning strikes. Bam, bam, bam.
Tigers. Oh man.
I don't know. It was a great documentary. If you haven't seen it yet, I suggest you do go watch it.
Yes,
try
watch
to find it.
it.
If not, go on YouTube and look up his episodes, because that's basically the dosage of what you're gonna get is Joe Exotic.
You might as well just watch it. If you don't hear it from us, you're gonna hear it from somebody else. It's on fire right now.
The dude's a gold mine.
Yeah,
he's a gold mine of shit. The things he says, the way he carries himself, he really.
The people around him. Even.
I was super impressed with him jumping in firsthand. He's cleaning the cages. He's meeting up with the welder at one point, talking about building a new cage for these new tigers he takes in. He takes in a couple of tigers from Ohio, I think it is, and because the zoo was going under because the owner was like having medical issues. So he gives them the tigers, and they have a thicker coat because they're up north more, and he's a little more down south. So he's like, they're not used to the heat, but they'll shed once it gets going. The weird thing about this is Joe Exotic's very knowledgeable on the tigers. He's not a bullshit.
Oh, yes.
He loves the
He was not some just he's a gay cowboy, Oklahoma motherfucker. But he does know shit about tigers, man. He knows how to keep animals. He knows the protocol for that. Like that part of it, like is legit. You got to respect the guy for it.
I watched him take care of every one of those animals. He's going around telling them, put a little food in here for them. And then he'll go tell, one of the managers, like, hey, this cage ain't getting enough food. You need to tell them to up the food, up the water.
Yeah. Oh, he truly cared about those animals, man.
One tiger's laying down. It's got a snake bite, and it's laying down and shit. And the bowl's like on some clips up high. And the tiger's got its head on the bottom of the bowl. And he's like, can we lower this bowl so the tiger can actually get the water? Because he can't move right now. He's very I was impressed with how he jumps in firsthand. He's grabbing a shovel. He's grabbing a wheelbarrow. He's grabbing the stitches and putting the stitches in the tiger. He's in it.
The animals are he's in it. He loves those animals. Yeah, he's an eccentric guy and shit like that. But he truly does care for the animal.
He's legit.
He is. He is an animal lover.
Very, very.
He's an animal lover, and I will never. I'll never believe otherwise. So when you have hundreds and hundreds of cats over the years, a few of them are going to have to be euthanized, put down, whatever. Yeah. Things happen. You could have saved someone from an attack, like one of the zookeepers from an attack, because you shot the thing really quick.
Well, wasn't there a
saved your
scene,
fellow human?
Wasn't there a scene at the end of the documentary?
Yeah.
Where he goes crazy and he's like, I'll shoot every one of these fucking tigers. And doesn't he go through, doesn't he wig out at one point?
Because he's getting his zoo stolen from him and whatnot. Dude was upset. He's yelling off all kinds of things. Because he at that point, he was feeling like he was going to lose it. Everything was going to get taken from him anyway.
Jeff stole the zoo. Let's be honest.
Yeah, and now Jeff's going to make all this money on his tigers and shit like this completely. So he's upset, yelling shit. I totally get it. But I think the best part in the documentary that kind of shows how much he cares for the animals when he's talking about these two monkeys that he had, and they lived right beside each other 10 years, and they both had little separate cages, kind of smaller separate cages. And then they were going to be moved. It was around the time things were changing in the zoo. They were actually going to go to another wildlife rehabilitation center / zoo place.
Right.
And after 10 years, these two monkeys got put in a larger cage because it was easier to pull something in there and get them into whatever their transport was going to be.
Right.
Just an easier area to do that. For 10 years, they find after 10 years, they're both in a pretty big enlargement together, and instead of going off their own two parts of the deal, they stood by each other, hugged each other, embraced each other. These two monkeys, because they've known each other like 10 years.
They did the same thing with some tigers.
And he's kind of watching. He sees this. He understands. He's like, man, like I feel like the biggest piece of shit in the world. Yeah, those two monkeys are in in those two cages for 10 years, and like look at them. Look at they're friends. They care about one another. They. Like this is,
real emotions
and
involved.
he's like, and he's like, and to think that I took 10 years of that away from them, he's like, I don't feel like he felt like shit, felt like epic shit. He felt like he didn't know, like I don't even know what I'm doing. Like, you know what I mean? Like, just like he recognized something that had happened. Yeah. And he felt so terrible. He truly fucking cared. If he didn't actually fucking care about those animals, completely legit, you can't see that type of thing if you're the type of person that doesn't give a shit about animals. Like when you...
Well, that's kind of what I thought when I was watching the documentary. Was this guy's so much of a character? I highly doubt he's taking care of these animals. I highly doubt he's running this zoo properly. And then you watch his personal YouTube channel, Joe Exotic TV, and you find out pretty quick. Oh wow, no, he is legit. He's really taking care of the tigers. And I made fun of him because in the documentary, I thought, oh, he's weed eating the cages, and I'm like, oh, he picked up a weed eater for 5 minutes and handed it off to a Mexican afterwards because he was just trying to get footage of him looking like he's doing something. He legitimately does that shit, or did that shit.
Yeah,
but yeah,
oh yeah, he does it.
Sign the petition. Fuck it. He did a crime and he should be punished.
Yeah,
but there's other people that were involved that should do time too.
It's
I don't think Jeff should have the zoo. I don't think the bald guy that was gonna do the owned up to it and work with the feds. Right. I think he should have to do a few years. Yeah.
Yeah, I think Jeff Sheff's got a few years too.
Absolutely.
I mean, he was a part of it. I mean, definitely they all need to be held accounted for. Especially that one dude, man. Like I mean, I guess he turned confidential informant. Remember that guy,
Louis Anderson?
Yeah, the kind of big guy that was on the fucking Sea-Doo, and he, oh man, dude. I think he still owns like a little he owns like a pet store. He got into exotic animal pet store. So.
I didn't know. What's funny is a lot of people are now trying to buy tigers because they found out, oh, you can buy a cub for $2,000. I didn't know that. Like, you save up a little money, you could have a tiger. That's scary. A lot more people are like, oh, I'm going to look up the laws and go get a tiger now.
Mm-hmm.
He literally drug in straight men and fed them
food,
old
and
meat, gave
them
a trailer and gave them some meth.
Yeah.
And,
here's all cigarettes you can smoke. We're going to town a few days to get you some weed.
I love when that woman gets her arm bitten off by the tiger, and then he's panicking, and he runs into the gift shop, and he's like, "Motherfucker, tiger bit off the goddamn arm!" And there's like kids and shit. And
I just want to make an announcement. We just had an employee have her arm ripped off.
Tiger just ripped off an arm.
Tiger.
And then the next scene
we
is
ain't gonna
him.
do any tours today. He said.
It's him in the back of the store, like ripping a butt.
Yeah, and he's like I'll never recover from this financially.
He's like, this is so ridiculous. I'm losing a lot of money right now. What's the dedication of those people? I think Joe was a good dude and had a good heart because of that employee. That's like, I care for the tigers. Joe's cool. I have a lot of respect for him, and it's gonna make him look bad if I take off right now. And she's like, I want to come right back to work.
Right.
She's in the hospital for what'd she say, 7 days or something like that.
7 days.
About a week, and then she came right back to work.
Right.
And that's dedication. She loves the tigers, but she also has a thing for Joe. You know what I mean? Like, Joe's obviously good to certain ones that give a shit about the tigers. Right. Like, he's obviously got a heart. It's just not in the right place.
Right.
And that's a fucking tragedy. Because the dude's a character. He really is. He got 19% of the voters.
Oh yeah,
when he ran for governor. That is insane.
That isn't a small when in the scheme of things.
That's not something to shake a stick at.
19% of Oklahoma. That's a good amount of people.
It's I'm like 3 or 4 hours away. Like, we could drive probably to that zoo. That's what's crazy is I wish that thing. I don't know if it's still open. I don't know if it's still
Jeff's
running.
running it, or
if he is, he's a douchebag. He's a fucking douchebag. Just the way he dresses and shit. He wears like cool, like almost like Walmart, really cool Walmart shit, like bandanas. That ball cap, he's a fucking douchebag.
Yeah, he's oh man,
he looks like a grand wizard or some shit.
I hate his little chin hair situation he had going on.
Dude,
like,
the Bagavon Doc Antle, really like his whole hair the way it is and his construct bugs me. I'm like, the little facial hair he's got is stupid, and when he's clean shaven, it's stupid. He's just that guy's look just bothers me. I don't know what it is.
He's really an odd looking fellow.
He is kind of odd looking. He's not really average looking at all. And he's got a sex cult. You got to admit that. What creeped me out is they're like 16 and 17 when they come there, and he like waits.
Yeah, and like years later.
Yeah, he waits till they're like 18, 19, then he marries them and shit. That's kind of strange.
And then one of them left. She was like in her early 30s.
Yeah, I forgot about that. They had a victim come out, and she was like, "Oh, it was bad over there." Everybody has that. Corey Feldman had the same thing. You know, when he was doing Corey's Angels, a lot. You know, it's pretty obvious what he's doing. Like, but they came out and exposed him like, "Oh, he's having orgies and he's doing drugs," and I'm like, "Dude, yeah, but he thinks he's a rock star." Right. So I mean, you're not really saying anything that's not going on anywhere else. And you're a grown woman, you know. If you don't want to partake, don't partake. But then go snitch on the guy, like that's fucked up. You know, those participants it's all consensual. Yeah. I'm sure. You know what I mean? You're not showing up to a Corey Feldman orgy and not.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because she even said herself, she was like, "Yeah, I was trying to fuck him," and it upset me because he wasn't into it, and he went and fucked these two other chicks, and she got fucked by a fat guy, and it was a strange story. But she said, a lot of the ex-Angels have come out and talked shit about Corey Feldman and just said how horrible he is, and he's, you know, he's been abused, so he's putting all that abuse on them. She said the living conditions are horrible. You have to get your own food. Like, he doesn't feed you. You have to eat vegan. You know, you have to do everything he tells you to do. It's like a cult. It's very, very strange. Corey Feldman's situation is funny within itself, too. That's one of those... You look into it, it's funny as fuck.
Oh man,
he railroads Corey Haim.
He's kind of ate up a little bit, dude.
He's got some issues.
I remember those videos you showed me, that one. Go for it.
Good Morning America, where he's like, "Doc Ice, everybody," and
Doc Ice.
Who the fuck is Doc Ice?
It's like okay, Donatello.
Dude, I've heard Houdini. I've listened to Houdini, and I'm like, who the fuck is Doc Ice? I did not know he was in Houdini.
Doc Ice. Oh man! And the way he's moving his hands. Go for it.
He twerked in front of that guy. He twerks in front of him, and he freestyles in the freestyle like, "Oh, I'm gonna watch Corey Feldman twerk." Like, what?
Whoa, dude! Like,
whoa!
You want to rethink that?
This went from weird to strange very fast, very rapidly.
I felt a tingle in my crotch. What?
What? You can see what they say on the bonfire. I think it was Jay Okerson who said you can see the black reporter literally reach into his back pocket and take his black card out. She's like, "Oh, I'll be taking this. You don't need this anymore.
Oh my god!
Don't go into any rough neighborhoods. You fucked up. Like,
yeah, he did.
I don't know. I the Corey Feldman thing is a thing within itself. It's. I've watched him live, not in person, but on the internet. You gotta admit, the dude's he commits, and he really does try to be a musician. A lot of people don't give him credit for that. He's not the greatest musician, but I've heard worse. Like, he's doing his own thing, you know? But then on Good Morning America, he compared himself to Eminem and Nirvana. And he was like, "Oh, nobody liked them when they came out." So, you know, I'm like, dude, but you're talking about, you know, you were good in movies. You did some great movies. One thing that the bonfire bothers me with is they don't know which Friday the 13th he was in, so they'll say, "Oh, he was in part 2," or he was in this one. And I'm like, "It's part 4." Like, I get so annoyed because I'm such a nerd about horror films that I'm like, "Oh, get it right.
It's
like,
part
4, motherfucker."
But go for it.
Corey Feldman, you know, I really dig. He's entertaining, and I dig what he's doing with the whole Kids 2 thing. You know, I can stand by that. You know, you get on Team Feldog because you see what he's doing,
right? And
he's doing something really positive. Whether he does, because he obviously does coke. He obviously has issues. You know, he plays like 2-3 hour shows. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, it's excessive, but he rides off the fame of Goonies and all his 80s fame and all this. And The thing about Feldman is if he would chill out and just kind of, you know, recognize, oh, I'm not that great at music, even though that's my passion, so I'm going to do that on the side like a Billy Bob Thornton thing. I'll do my music still, but I think I need to focus on my acting, and I think he should shoot to become a really come back and have a comeback.
No
because
twerking.
He could.
No twerking.
Don't twerk in front of Doc Ice.
No fucking twerking.
How did that conversation go when he
No
called?
movies about vampires.
Did he?
Steer clear, bro. Okay.
He did. Oh my God.
Stay away from dramas.
Lost Boys 2 and 3. Have you seen Lost Boys 2 and 3?
I've only seen the original Lost Boys. It's the only one I could stand to.
It's so sad to watch.
There's no way I'm gonna watch 2 and 3, dude.
Like Corey Haim was at the end of the second one, in like the mid-credit scene or whatever, and he was in it, and he's all like chunky and shit, and he Corey Feldman really did him wrong in the last days of Corey Haim. He really fucked him up.
Damn. Jesus. Poor Corey Haim, dude. I think. I mean,
you know what was crazy was Charlie Sheen really didn't defend himself much. He just kind of came out and said, "Oh, that's crazy. That's nuts what he's saying." He didn't really I didn't do that or, sue him or anything. He's just like, I don't know what he's talking about. He was so chill about it that I'm like, I don't know if this really happened that. Of course he's not going to panic. He's not going to get on there and go, I didn't do it. I swear to God.
Yeah.
But I didn't fuck him.
I did not touch that man.
It wasn't Crisco. It was Wesson. It was margarine.
Crisco.
It's
sodomy and fried chicken,
I almost think Corey Haim was he did get molested on set, but then he kind of liked it. And I know that's weird. That's a weird thing to say about a kid. But they're so confused and so they don't know what's going on yet in life.
Right.
Nobody ever does. You never do. Even when you die, you had no clue what the hell's going on. We're just floating through for close to 100 years. That's all that life is.
Accidental on a breeze.
Yeah. We just kind of float through and go, and then the next generation comes. They float through and go. Mm-hmm. You gotta, if we took into consideration what the fuck this is. Because Joe Rogan always talks about that. If we stopped and realized that we're out in the middle of nowhere, we're out in the middle of space with a giant fireball that's like 1,000,000 times the size of Earth, right above us at all times. We have a little planet, the moon, that orbits perfectly around our little thing. You know what I mean? The only thing protecting us is a thin layer of gas. There's fireballs being hurtled all over space. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? We get pelted sometimes. If we stop to think about that more often, I think people would be less arrogant and cocky and a little more caring and be like, oh, I'm minute compared to what the fucking universe is.
I am lucky to be here. It's amazing I'm here.
Yeah. People don't look up anymore. They don't look up and think, fuck, dude, we are floating millions of miles per second in nothing.
Yeah.
Just in the fucking black.
That's when a person honestly realizes that the percentage of themselves don't compare to the percentage, the chances of them being alive are vastly, almost infinitely smaller than the chances of them never existing.
Right.
You have more of a chance to never exist, an astronomical more. Just. You had odds are stacked against you, us, everyone, and
it blows my fucking mind.
You gotta appreciate,
to think that you got to think of things right now. One thing that nobody's thinking of is right now the coronavirus is really bad. It's epic. We've never dealt with anything like this before, or so they say. So, in our generation, you know what I mean? In our life.
Black Plague, in our generation.
In our lifetime. Because weird shit's happened before, but, we're well connected now, so we're in the loop. And so it's the weirdest thing our generation's had to deal with since 9/11. Mm-hmm. Our generation's thing was 9/11, but now this is, the new thing. And what I find very strange is how quickly people are quick to hop on what the media says. Mm-hmm. CNN, Fox, and MSNBC, whatever it is, they hop on it. They're
Yeah.
like, oh, the death rate's like 2,000 people or whatever.
In some cases, probably, such as this, such as pandemics. I mean, that's exactly what our past generations didn't have. They didn't have a quick form of communication. Didn't have a lot of good science. And the Black Plague killed, 70%. I don't know if that's the actual number, but a large amount of that population. There was only 9 million people.
Think about how many
in
people
the world whenever smallpox started.
Yeah,
and then it dwindled to even less than that. And but the human race has recuperated and whatnot.
Think about how many people Hitler killed.
Oh yeah,
you know what I mean. He took a lot of people out of the fucking loop.
And then even when the Black Plague was happening, so many people got killed. There were the whole countries that thought, this is coming from the Jews gave this to us, so they're going to kill all the motherfucking Jews. There's a Black Plague time and everything, and people died for other reasons as well, because there's no quick form of communication, no good science, no anything. Now there is. That's why people inadvertently or consciously and subconsciously jump onto media, things like that, because if sometimes when they're right, that is what we need to do. That is, this is how we're going to survive. Millions and billions of more people are going to survive a pandemic of this side than they would have 30 years ago, 50 years ago.
Here's my side of it. I just try to be a critical thinker.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I see it as, for the past week, we were told to stay inside. Most people stayed inside.
Right.
Most people have tried to, what'd they call it, slow the curve, whatever
social
it is.
distancing.
Slow the spread. Social distancing. We've been washing our hands more. People are practicing social distancing.
Don't touch your face.
But
your eyes.
But the numbers are still skyrocketing on the news. I don't believe in 50% of what they're selling us. I really don't. I think it's a real disease. I think people have died from it.
I think it is a pandemic, yes. But it's I'm kind of there with you. There is a little bit of embellishment going on. A little.
Look at the Gulf of Tonkin,
and even a little is more than. It's unnecessary.
How many
even
times have the government lied to us?
Many times.
To get
all
their
the
way,
time.
to manipulate
all
us.
the time.
So it's like an abusive relationship, right?
Right.
You, after a while of being cheated on so many times, you're like, I can't trust you to do anything.
Right.
I don't trust you with anything. So when the government tells me a disease is killing everybody, I got to sit there and go, well, wait a minute. I played it safe,
Mm-hmm.
and I listened and I cooperated. That's what I said last time. We should cooperate for sure. But when does it become a point of, okay, this is getting a little fishy and we need to start questioning this a little bit more? Because you do a little bit of research and find out that, there is a vaccine that's been developed for this since 2014. There is 80 degrees kills it. Drinking hot water kills it. Heat kills the virus.
Mm-hmm.
What kind of weak ass does it, what I mean? Like, there's certain things they're not telling us that you got to go find out for yourself, and you get a little upset. Like, why are so many people dying from this if, A, we have a vaccine? First of all, there is a vaccine out there. Whether it works or not, we don't know, right? But finding out that there's been a patent on it since 2006, because we know the coronavirus has always existed. It's a thing. It's been a thing, right? Because so many people freaked out about the Lysol bottles and shit. And I'm like, dude, coronavirus has always, I've known about that. Like, it's always been a thing. This is just a new strain of it, right? So that's not what got weird with me. What got weird was stay inside. We listen. Most people practice social distancing, but the numbers keep spiking up.
Yeah.
So what are we staying inside for then? Like,
because they're saying if we didn't stay inside, those numbers would be even higher than what are skyrocketing up. And that's where I feel a little bit of, maybe that's one of the margins of, getting a little too.
I don't buy it. It's too. Listen, the conspiracy side of it. Let me get into the conspiracy side of it. If you sit back and watch this happen, okay. Nancy Pelosi and the Democrats have tried to get rid of Trump for 4 years.
Mm-hmm.
They failed to impeach him, right? They failed to impeach him. Right after they failed to impeach him comes the elections. It's too convenient for them to sit here and play politics,
right?
While they tell us we're all dying. What I see standing on the outside looking in is There's scary stuff outside. Don't go outside. There's monsters outside.
We're going to give you all $1,000.
Stay inside. We're going to give you money. Yep.
Vote for me this November 2020. What's up? I gave you all $1,000, remember?
It's too convenient for their political agenda.
4 more years. 4 more years.
And that's all I'm saying is like it's one of those things where I'm watching them benefit from this and I don't like it. And I'm like, dude, that's where you start questioning it.
That's when it comes in your mind, like where like there is a margin of kind of corruptness.
Why are they acting
all this embellishment?
Why are they acting like there's no vaccine for it when there's been a vaccine patent since 2014? Why was the coronavirus patented? Because once they do create a vaccine, that person who patented the virus gets a cut out of the vaccine money. Bill Gates, I believe, was the one who bought the patent for corona. I don't know. That may be a false statement. I'd have to look it up. But there are patents on these things.
Oh, wow.
So, that's why they buy patents for diseases. So when the vaccine comes out, they get a cut of what, is being brought in for that. That's fucking bullshit.
Yeah.
That's corrupt as fuck. And, the conspiracy side of it is I think they're trying to get Trump out and make Trump look like the worst president ever. And I'm not a Trump supporter.
Not
you know
either.
what I mean? I don't vote.
But Trump's trying to fight against that by displaying that he's doing a good job and this is what we should do. And I'm going to give you all $1,000.
Trump's very flawed. The problem is the Democrats did not want to give out money like that. And you can tell because they stalled on the bill for so long. Like, that's how I started questioning it, was we stayed inside for a week. We listened to what you said. It's not working. And also, not to mention, you keep going back on your story. You know what I mean? We're going to try to get rid of it in here. We're going to do this. We're going to do that. But you don't. You jump through 3 fucking bills. You drag your feet to get the help out. That's why I don't think it's that urgent. They would have helped us already. They would have sent the help.
Right.
It's not that they don't care about us. In 2008, they hopped on the fucking nuts of billionaire corporations to keep their salaries and to give out their pensions and shit like that. But as soon as the people get in trouble, well, we'll drag our feet. And we don't know if we want to give them that much money. We don't even want to give them money. Maybe we should just give them retirement back. You start to see that shit and you get frustrated. You're like, if it was as bad as you're playing it off to be, you would have already signed the bill.
Right.
You would have come to an agreement because you're terrified of what's going to happen. You don't want the economy to fail. They're trying to make Trump look bad. Nancy Pelosi personally stalled the bill. I watched her stall the bill, keep stalling the bill because it didn't fit her agenda.
Right.
And then once it did fit her agenda, she's like, yep, Trump tried to stall it, but we got it going. And I'm like, you're taking credit for something you didn't do.
Yeah.
You personally stalled it and then pointed fingers at Trump saying, I'm watching this shit go down.
Right.
And if you're a critical thinker, you're like, this is politics.
Yeah.
There's not time. That's what all the senators said. This isn't the time for fucking politics and agenda. Now's the time to help the people if we're going to help the people. They're watching us stall and drag our feet. Yeah. What do you think that's going to look like come election time? I think they're all full of shit. I think they're all the same full of shit.
Yeah.
Motherfuckers. I don't believe anything they say. I was all for cooperating. Now I'm getting a little frustrated because now you can't get your facts straight. You can't. I found out there's a fucking patent since 2014 for a vaccine. Now, why can't you be honest and just tell us there is a vaccine for it, but we don't know if it works?
Well,
things like this.
Or just like
they're acting like
we
don't
some
have
bullshit
anything
of like,
for it.
oh well, I mean the virus is different now, so that vaccine isn't going to work. Well, let's give it to a few thousand people and see what happens.
They're testing other drugs. Why not that?
Let's actively try to stop the pandemic.
That's what I'm saying.
No, just stay at home. Stay at home now.
It fits their political agenda of depopulation to save the planet.
It does.
Fits. Do you know how clean the air has gotten? How clean the water has gotten just from the week or two that people have been quarantined because they're not outside fucking everything up? That says a lot. That speaks volumes. They're showing the LA River and it's clear. You can finally see through it and all the dirt's settled.
I can just see that on a fucking commercial, some sort of natural resource commercial. Like this is the Mississippi River. Look how beautiful it is. Like blah 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 blah. Or it's probably words on the screen like it's been the cleanest it's ever been in like 200 some years.
That's the thing is that's terrifying.
Why is this COVID-19? Like
And the thing is it's doing some good things. It's also doing some bad things. You know what I mean?
Yep.
I don't think it's the end of the fucking world. I didn't think it was the end of the world. I think we're going to be very disappointed.
Smallpox was worse than this, but
We're going to be very disappointed when nothing comes about.
Yeah.
I think our generations is going to get old and be like, oh, fuck. Like, we thought the end was coming. It's not coming. It's not going to be anytime soon. And I'm not just saying that to comfort myself because I'm very comfortable with death. I don't give a fuck.
Mm-hmm.
If it's my time, it's my time. You can't stop death. Why fear it?
Right.
If you could stop and think about, we don't know what's after this, that's something to be excited about.
Yeah.
Rather than sit there. That's what's weird about it. I can't tell people that because they're like, that sounds weird, but I'm excited about death. And that's a very strange feeling. Like, I'm not trying to speed it up.
Right.
I'm not trying to kill myself or anything like that, but I'm excited to find out what is this all about. Maybe we'll find out everything we needed to know. Maybe you move on. Maybe there's nothing. Maybe it's complete darkness and we can't comprehend that.
Just like Peter Pan said, to die would be an awfully big adventure.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You know, like
exactly. It's it's almost like a new beginning. You know, you don't know what's going to happen.
Yeah.
So I think so when I'm not trying to comfort myself in thinking that, I'm very comfortable with death, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I don't fear death. But what I fear is in my lifetime shit getting weird and martial law and one world government, you know, the things that are physical that could fuck us up. What's great about this whole thing is it's taught the Democrats and it's taught the liberal political people that the gun debate quit. The gun debate stopped, right?
Right.
There's no more they're not worried about the guns right now because
No.
even the liberals and Democrats are like, "Oh, we're going to go buy one." You know what I mean? We're going to learn to use this thing. We're going to get some ammo.
Right.
Because we don't know what's happening. That shows you right there that the whole argument didn't need to happen in the first place.
Right.
Because once their lives are at stake, once things are at that margin, then they're like, oh, we have to protect our family. We need protection. The bad guys are going to have guns. Why shouldn't we? Mm-hmm. And then when they start saying shit like that, you're like, that's what we've been trying to tell you this whole time.
Right.
Like, and I'm not like a gun advocate or anything, but I am a big believer in the rights that we've been given in this country. I think they need to be worked on. I think it was for a pastime, and maybe they need to be amended. Maybe we need to add, take away, whatever we got to do. Because I understand the whole when we stole the land from the Indians and brought over slaves from Africa, when we made these rights and abolished slavery, we didn't include the black man.
Right.
You know what I mean? We didn't include the African American people. We just we want equal rights as long as you're white. Type deal, you know what I mean? And
you're getting the whole like Jim Crow.
Exactly, and that's the thing is we've evolved so much from that. Racism is so killed out. It's not it's hardly a thing anymore. You know, with the younger generation.
I mean, it's still there. Racism is still there.
It's never going to go away.
You know,
it's never going to go away.
Yeah, just like prejudice.
People feel a certain way about people. That's how they feel.
You know, and I mean, it's just how it goes. You know, it's how one of the most crazy phenomenons of human communication is
I grew up in a rather southern racist home, like almost like comfortability with saying the N-word or talking shit about other races. I'm not trying to throw anybody under the bus, but I was just brought up with jokes mainly, and just the you can't say things that are politically incorrect,
right?
And that's what it was, calling gays faggots or homos. You know what I mean? Like, that's what I grew up with, but I'm not that person, and that's why I don't believe you're a product of your environment.
Right.
I'm the black sheep of my family. I'm not a country boy. They're all farm related country boy type people, which isn't a bad thing at all. I'm just saying I'm not that. I'm more of in between. I love the outdoors, but I'm kind of like a city kid too. Like I can balance both. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it reminds me of back in the skateboarding days and whatnot. And like, I mean, I guess in this, like with just my family, I'm kind of like the same way. Kind of I'm not part of the usual standard construct there. I always call myself the blonde sheep. I'm the only blonde. I'm the only one. The only one, dude.
Is it racist to say I'm the black sheep? Is that
No?
Is that like a weird dude, you shouldn't say that?
No. Everyone says that. It's like, oh, I'm the black sheep of the family.
I've never seen a reason to hate somebody for the color of their skin. That seems so stupid and like a no-brainer. You know what I mean? Like, common sense tells me that's dumb. Like, if I don't like you, it's because you're an asshole. It's not because, you know what I mean? It's not because of any type of, like, what you look like. That's fucking retarded. Right. You know what I mean? That's straight dumb. But I get, I don't know. Like, I work with a lot of Hispanic people, and I constantly feel like when they're speaking Spanish, they're talking shit about me, but I don't look at them and go, oh, fuck them. I just say, like, dude, they're probably not, and you're just sitting here. You're insecure with yourself. It's a you problem. You know what I mean? It's not their problem. You think that. So, it's pretty common for people to be prejudiced and hang on to the stereotypes of certain races and, religions. Right. But those stereotypes exist for a reason. I mean, fuck, I think it's funny that people always associate mayonnaise and white people because I don't get it. And that's exactly how it feels to be black and the whole chicken and watermelon thing pop up because they're like, what? Like, you don't like that shit? Like,
I was going to say, like, I love chicken. I love watermelon, bro.
It doesn't make sense. So when people are like, oh, mayonnaise, white people, I'm like, what the fuck?
Like, what?
Mayonnaise, that's not, I don't know.
I mean, they should get on for white people for, like, Hot Pockets and shit.
You know what I mean? Bagel bites. How do you
he's sitting there with his pizza rolls getting hit by a truck and suing him. A white guy. Oh, sons of bitches. I'll put it on my credit card. They all laugh at the white man. I'll take the Kia.
Hop in. It's a Toyota Corolla.
It's so hilarious. This is my impression of white man. I'll go get the groceries, honey. See what I say? You see?
That's one political thing I don't get. I try not to get involved with because I have a weird stance on sexism.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. I'm not racist, but I'm a tad sexist. And to a certain extent. Now, let me elaborate. Hold on. Here's the thing.
I should do the shame finger.
Here's the thing is I'm not full-on sexist. I just have sexist views. Like, I'm not a big believer in the woman has a certain role in the house. I don't believe that. You know what I mean? But where, like, I don't believe in 100% equality. And here's why. Okay, the trans issue that we've had to deal with for the past 5 years or so, even longer, you know what I mean, has brought to attention the fact that we are not equal. If you get the
you shouldn't say area. You should say the trans movement. It's not really a movement. Realization. Like the what's that word?
Recognition.
Yeah. The
awareness.
That's it. Yeah. That's it. The trans awareness. Because it's not a movement. I mean, it's all. There's been trans people, for generations and generations. But now there's an awareness of it, and
the reason I say that is because there was an MMA fighter who was a man who was transitioned into a woman and started fighting women in professional fighting and was just beating their ass, whooping them.
Okay, that's kind of shitty.
And that's where I'm sexist is like there's a different physicality. I'm not saying there's no woman that can't beat the shit out of a man. There is, absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
But 9 times out of 10, dude, like, we talked about this before. Like, I don't know what it's like to walk around all the time and think, oh, I could be raped. I could turn the corner and just be raped. I don't know what that's like.
Right. And, a lot of women could say the same thing. There's, I know, there's plenty of women who haven't been, so they don't have to, and they're not going around freaking out, scared about it, obsessing about it.
Right, they don't obsess with it, but like I used to work at Casey's, and this one girl that I'd work with around 9 or 10, she would go home. I worked overnights, and she would ask me, "Hey, could you walk me to my car? I don't feel safe going to my car." And I'm like, "Your car's right there. Like it's literally maybe 50 feet away, out in the parking lot."
Oh, I mean, you think about it. That's more than enough space to have an interaction. But I mean, at the same time, like, we're not girls. We haven't.
Well, I didn't know that there was a customer eyeballing her.
Right.
And like, oh, you're pretty. Do you have a number? Do you have a boyfriend?
A lot of a lot of girls a lot of women realize that men will do weird, crazy things just to win their affections and shit like that. Like it doesn't happen for a dude like it happens for a girl.
I don't like being lumped into the whole feminist
right. And there's
movement
there's other dudes that get lumped in. It's like, oh well, I can't
all
approach
males
this
are
woman.
pigs. All males are chauvinists.
Because they're not like we're not all rapists.
All men are rapists.
Robbers.
Yeah.
And
I've always tried to respect boundaries. Like I can't imagine being somebody like Harvey Weinstein who pushes himself on women when they're like, I don't feel comfortable with this, and
that
you're
sort
still
of thing.
pursuing
Like
it.
a lot of women get pushed on and manipulated, and a lot of men all the time go over the line with them. I mean that's why that's why there's that whole stigma of be safe. Ask a friend to walk you to your car.
Right. Don't leave your drinks to somebody you don't trust.
Don't accept rides. Or
it's a whole protocol to
and
being
whatnot.
a girl and going out in public, and that's what weirds me out.
And it's
we don't give a shit about somebody dosing us because we don't think about it.
Yeah,
and it's so easy to do.
Yeah, like I kind of feel my heart goes out. To that whole situation.
That's why I recognize feminism.
I wish I wish that wasn't the way that it had to be. I wish there wasn't so much. I wish there wasn't so much rape in the world, dude. Like, you know what I mean? Like, what the fuck? Like,
yeah, I mean,
reminds me of that song, that Bo Burnham song where he's singing like he's God. He's like a God who's wrote the song about human race in the world, and there's a line in it that goes, You should not just rape people because you think that I want you to. You shouldn't rape people because rape is a fucked up thing to do. You know what I mean? Like, it's just why? Like, I wish that it didn't.
It's weird because some like big Hollywood types probably could get chicks that do that shit. You know what I mean? Very easily. It's weird. That's why I never believed Michael Jackson was a child molester, because I was like, first of all, a child molester isn't stupid enough. I don't think there's any child molester dumb enough to put a theme park in their front yard. That screams pedophile.
But at the same time, what if there was?
I mean, he may have thought it was a clever idea, right?
I mean, Cat Williams kind of hits on a point when he was like, I put things in my house that I like women. I like to put things in my house that attract women, make them feel comfortable when they're here.
I don't like Alizé. Bitches do.
I got Alizé in my house. I don't like Alizé, but bitches do.
Got silk pillows so they ain't got to mess up their hair messing with me.
Yeah.
I love Cat Williams.
It's like, and then Michael Jackson, he's got a whole theme park and monkeys and cotton candy machines, and it's like, who you wanting inside your house,
it's
bro?
It's low hanging fruit. It's a reach. The thing is when the kids came out and then said, "Oh, we did it for money. Our parents told us to do it for money," and then they come back out, the same kids, Safe Chuck and the other guy that dated his niece.
Right.
The family has nothing but nice things to say. Niece, nephew, daughters. They're like, dude, he wasn't.
Right.
I feel like we would have seen that. Like, we would have been able to call that. I think he was a strange guy. I think he was stuck in his childhood because he didn't have one. And
yeah.
I think he was a strange guy, and it was easy to pin it on him. That's what I think. It's my personal opinion. I don't defend him or anything. It's not a big deal. I don't give a shit that much.
Yeah.
But I do think that it's a very odd thing for those guys to say, no, we did it for money, and then come back out and say, no, he actually did touch us. And I don't get that. I'm like, it's the same thing with the Me Too movement. Like 10 years ago.
Oh, yeah.
The Louis C.K. thing always bothered me because I was like, did he block the door? I need details.
Didn't it all start with, Bill Cosby, and then Louis C.K. thing came out. And
details matter in that situation, because it's like, did he lay on a bed in a hotel and be like, hey, will you watch me jerk one? And you just say yes or whatever. That's your problem. But if he blocks the door and gets weird about it, that's when it becomes his problem. I don't feel like having a kink like that was something he needed exposed. I don't think he hurt anybody.
I think a more appropriate charge would be like, like he
didn't walk around jerking in front of people.
No,
it was a kink
he should be charged with maybe exposing himself or something, not molesting people, capturing people, and forcing them to watch sexual acts.
I feel like if you ask if say I go to a bar and I ask a woman, hey, do you want to watch me jerk off up in the room? And she says, sure, and comes up.
But that's public place.
Why would
that's a public place, though.
Why? And she's agreeing to it.
It doesn't matter.
She does it. And then
everyone else in the bar didn't agree to that.
She maybe doesn't feel good about it and regrets it.
Yeah.
And then goes and,
and
tells people, hey, jerked off in front of me. That's wrong.
If that had been like,
that's dumb.
If that had been at his house, and this woman agreed, like, yeah, I'll go watch you jerk off in the laundry room. Fuck it.
But if she agrees, I feel like a grown person should take responsibility.
But like that's his house, and she agreed to it. He doesn't deserve any charge. He didn't deserve to be charged with anything. She's a consenting adult that totally said, yeah, I'll watch your orange ass jerk it.
Well, I don't think he was charged with anything. I think he just lost his career.
Right.
He didn't get to do Secret Life of Pets.
Yeah. And like they wouldn't have had nothing or anything. It would have been less if it hadn't have been at like a public place.
But see, that's the difference between somebody like the Harvey Weinstein case and then Louis' case.
Yeah. But it still doesn't make it okay to pull your dick out.
Dude, listen.
Outside your home.
I watched a porn one time. Big surprise. I watched a porn one time.
Well, that's porn. That's what they're supposed to do.
Well, it wasn't. It was like it was it was one of those dancing bear videos. Those.
Where they're all like in this little club.
It's like it's.
But like those are like not. That's not an actual.
There's a stripper there, and they all like start fucking or whatever.
Well, that's not
crazy.
An actual club.
This one blonde. Well, here's my point. Okay, and it made me laugh to watch it, but it's not something. It's serious. It's kind of serious. This was I got to see this on video, and this is my point of I think sometimes when you do things consensually and regret it afterwards, I don't really feel it sucks that you regret that. It sucks you didn't. If you didn't want to do it, you shouldn't have done it.
Right.
And that's one of those things. Take your responsibility. You can't
Being
look
an
at him
adult,
and go, he raped me.
Yeah.
Well, no, because you were consensual to a certain extent. But I'm not one of those guys that's like, it was what you were wearing. You know what I mean? Watch what you wear.
Yeah.
I'm not one of those guys.
Yeah, you should be able to wear what you want.
What my point is, getting to the point of the video, she goes down on the stripper. She starts sucking his dick and he blows a load in her face. And then she gets up, she sees the camera, wipes her mouth, and then like starts tearing up and crying. She sees the camera, she's smiling, and then she's like, oh, it hits her. And she's like, oh, I did something really fucked up just now in front of a camera.
Oh.
And she starts tearing up, and I thought that's what I'm talking about with the whole she
what
she was into it.
Thing to notice in a porno, bro.
Dude, here's the fucked up thing about me, and I do
it too, man.
I watch porn for shits and giggles. Like one time, one of my favorite things to look up is, and this is so weird that I'm saying this shit. One of my favorite things to watch is porn bloopers. Like I love it. Makes me laugh so hard. Like, porn bloopers are great.
Yeah.
And or it's something different. I guess it's extreme and it's funny.
And then there's that slice of real life in it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't always watch porn to just
it's kind of like reality, weird. Like this is
So, but that's why I watch some of the dancing bear videos are interesting, and for some reason I noticed that it's a famous video too. It's you could easily find it probably because she blows the dude, he blows a load in her face. She's fine until she looks up, sees the camera filming her, and she just instantly tears up. Oh. And I thought this was the perfect. This sums up somebody who consented to something. She grabbed his dick and blew it. You know what I mean? Right. Like she did something, regretted it afterwards because then she's like, "Oh, I'm a whore." Like, and this was on video. It's there forever now, and it's one of those things where it's like, you consented to it, regretted it afterwards. You see a lot of that, and that's what bothers me about the Me Too movement. Is it's so easy to say, one time me and this chick fooled around at a park, and she made a comment. I reached down her pants or whatever, we were making out, and I reached down her pants, and she said, "Oh, we're doing this now," and I took my hand out because this was before this shit too. And it just weirded me out because I was like, that's not a weird thing to say when I'm in the middle of like trying to start something. Is this not something we should do right now? But she was like, no, I'm just, just talking. All she said was, oh, this is what we're doing right now. And I took it as, I backed off. I was like, that's why I don't understand Louis' kink or these people that press themselves on women. The confidence and balls you have to pursue a woman that's saying no to you and saying, I don't feel comfortable with this is so weird. Like that's why I brought that example up is like I was simply just going into the pants and all of a sudden it's like oh we're doing this and I felt so uncomfortable. I was like, oh, okay, don't say that too loud, let's leave, like let's not do this. And that happen. I feel like that happens a lot with guys. And that chick could easily come out today and say, "Oh yeah, you think he's a good, wholesome family guy? He tried to rape me at a park or something." And it's like that's not the story at all, you know. And it bothers me that such an easy thing can come out and ruin your reputation when there's no facts. There's no, you know what? There's clear cases. Bill Cosby's clearly fucked up.
Right.
Harvey Weinstein's clearly fucked up. There's evidence, but when you look at Louis' case, it's like I need details. Like what?
True.
Where you're a consenting adult, and if he says, "Hey, can I jerk off in front of you?" and you're like, "Sure," and then if you didn't want to do it, you should have said no. Right. Strong people need to be independent and stand up for themselves, and that's my point. Is like sometimes you consent to something and then regret it later. That doesn't give you the right to come out and say, "Oh, well, I didn't like that I did that."
Yeah, or like somebody wronged you. You wronged yourself.
Act like a victim. Yeah.
Yeah, you're a victim of your own wrong choice.
That's my gray area with the Me Too movement, but
they're a victim of their own choices. As everyone is. Everyone.
Subject.
Yeah. We kind of touched on it. No pun intended.
How do we go from Tiger King to rape?
Like, just porno bloopers.
Porno instant. That's one thing we'll have to watch sometime on here. Is we'll have to get the kids a babysitter and get them out of the house, and we'll have to watch porno bloopers. It's the greatest. Like one was this dude came in like 2 seconds. Like she whipped it out of his pants and blew a load, and she's like, "Oh, really?" Like she's upset about it. And
2 minutes.
It wasn't even that, because she just whipped his cock out and he just came, and she's like, "What? I didn't do anything." Like, you know, it blows some chick's mind. Like one time, Kylie watched 8 Mile, and it's that scene where Eminem and Brittany Murphy have sex in the factory, and it's like a 2-minute scene, and she's like, "Oh, that was quick." She starts laughing. I was like, "Kylie, that's average for most men.
2 minutes
to last in a situation like that." Some people know, you know, and I get
Some people know, especially like in a public situation. You always try to get things done a little faster.
Right. She was like, "Oh, that's fast." I was like, "That seems about right." That's very realistic in that movie.
Right.
Banging
out. You're not going to be having sex in a public factory for 2.5 hours or
have a session right
there.
there.
It's like, oh man, people walking up, they got fucking candles. Like they got a whole.
One time I was
that's Tim on the camera.
One time I was going down the road in Springfield, and it was behind a brown derby, and I caught a glimpse of homeless people fucking behind the brown derby, like it was his ass bouncing up and down and her legs were in the air. It was the funniest shit. I'm
on fucking suplex that pussy, girl, and then we could go on ground derby, get us a pint of alcohol.
That's exactly what it was. They got drunk and fucked, or they fucked and then got drunk. Whatever order.
We want a pint of Aristocrat. Don't worry about her. She smells like cum. Just don't worry about her.
My face is sticky. Yeah. I don't know. I'm a weirdo. I don't know if I should have admitted that.
Well, there's one time
I do watch porn for entertainment purposes sometimes.
I was driving by, right there by that little place, Illusions or whatever, and you can see because you're going down the highway there. You can see you can see the building, and it's pretty close to the road. It's not far away. It's not like it's centerfold in the distance. No, it's like it's right there, and it's like. I don't know, like 11:30 at night, and I think you can see 2 people just going at it in between 2 cars, man. Like they had that fucking Jetta and that Taurus just
hop on, it's
they're just in between the 2 cars. They're smashing around like fucking. Like, and you just see him just, I mean, you could tell, like, it was undeniable, dude.
That's the worst at concerts.
Chick are having sex in between 2 cars.
It's the worst at concerts. I've seen people get busted in the bathroom. I've seen people up on the top balcony just getting at it. This one chick flashed her tits and shit right above me. Like, I was a kid, so I had to look. I was like, oh, nice. It was at Tech 9. It was awesome. That was back when... That was back when Tech 9 could sing Areola. That was like, they just go shirtless. And now he can't do it. Like, he talks about it always. He's like, I can't do that song anymore because of the way things are, the climate and everything, that's kind of public indecency and all this. Whatever.
Goodness
we all like boobies. Even women like boobies. That's
been a concert tradition.
When we were talking about women on the way here, okay, we had a conversation off air, and it was so true to what like women. I notice it in Kylie too. I give her shit all the time. I'm like, oh, you're a lesbian, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Women appreciate women.
Yeah.
They look at women like, oh damn, that bitch is hot. You know what I mean? Like
she got it going on.
That's how much beauty women carry with them.
Mm-hmm.
Is like I said, they could be wearing pajamas and no makeup and come and go and
Right.
like, oh, I look like shit. And then some people are like, oh damn, like she's fucking fine. Dude. Like it's a weird men have very low standards. All of us.
Well, yeah, it's like it's maybe we don't. I mean, I don't want to. I mean, I don't know. Maybe we don't have low standards. Maybe we have a standard. But maybe women have higher standards.
We have lines we draw. Women
have higher standards of themselves than men have standards in what is beauty in a woman and what they're attracted to.
That's my thing. Is I think my wife's hot as hell. I think Kylie's hot as shit. And the thing is like she don't feel that way at all about herself. And I'm like, dude, I don't see how you don't see it.
Yeah.
Like you've got to do all these things when I'm just like, oh, you just look.
It's kind of that whole line that she don't know she's beautiful.
Yeah,
like type of situation. You know, it's
that song's very true.
Yeah.
Most women don't realize they're so hard on themselves. You know?
They're so critical of themselves, and when like all they need to know is like, oh, you fucking wear some minion fucking booty pajamas,
some booties.
Yeah. Fucking with a fucking t-shirt on. You know, like whatever, doesn't matter. Orange sunglasses and fucking, I don't know.
Beauty's beauty, and it's how you carry yourself.
Yeah, it's not just how you look and how it's just. I wish more women knew that.
Women are awesome.
Yeah.
And I do think it's about time that we had a woman in president. I think we need to get the right one. Right. Like just because we can't just get a woman just because she's a woman. We have to get somebody who's strong, independent, who knows the country,
who at the time this is the best person for the job.
Qualifies.
This person is a woman. But her being a woman isn't what qualifies her. It's how she what she stands for,
her politics,
what she wants to get done, her politics.
That's why Hillary didn't get in. Because Hillary's such a dirtbag. Like
she was just kind of riding that train. Like
Pelosi,
I'm a woman. I'm getting a lot of attention.
Pelosi could never run because so many Republicans hate her.
Yeah.
I always thought Sarah Palin
too typecasted.
Speaking of hot women,
Sarah Palin, total babe. I would totally do that wolf shooting.
How cool is it that there's
Alaskan
a politician
lady
in America that's actually like could be a model? Like she's hot. She's got that librarian look, like she's about to spank you or something. Like, I told you to be quiet in the library. She's like Swedish or some shit. I don't know why I give her that. I told you to be quiet in the library.
I told you to be quiet in the library. Okay.
In the library.
You got to shut your mouth in here. Okay. You can't just be running around. Jesus. You want me to? You know what a wolf looks like?
Read your CJ Graham and just go to sleep. It is a library.
It is a library.
Yeah.
After this, we'll get on. After this, we'll get on the helicopter.
Oh, the helicopter!
Oh yes, it would be so great. But you have to sit on the left side and not with us.
You know what that reminds me of is Beer Fest.
Beer Fest.
Yeah, he's like Papa.
You do that again. Will you do that one more time?
Papa. He runs over to him. He's like Papa. It's I love that fucking movie.
Oh.
The beer, yeah.
It's the beer, yeah.
Yeah. We chug the beer and you're a pussy. Yeah.
You're nothing. Go home.
You are a piece of shit. I love anything Broken Lizard does. Broken Lizard's great.
Oh, Super Troopers.
Have you seen the second one?
No.
No,
it's
pretty good. It's not obviously the first one always has a standard.
It's gonna be the one.
But
Leader Cola.
I thought it was cool that they actually like. I don't feel I'd have to watch it again. It's been a minute since I've seen it, but they didn't really coattail on the jokes in the first one. They kind of tried to make new shit. I thought that was cool. Like they tried to do a funny film and not ride so much on the first one and just make a whole new film.
Right.
That was cool.
That's cool. That's cool. I like
a very underrated Club was it Club Dread? The Broken Lizard people that made Club Dread. That's a very underrated Broken Lizard movie.
I saw that once.
It's got Bill Paxton in it, and he plays like a Jimmy Buffett type, like on this island, and people start getting murdered on the island, and It's like it's supposed to be like a horror movie spoof type. It's funny as fuck, but it's like people are dying on the island, and that's a great movie. It's so underrated, that movie. I put it in the same category as Super Troopers, Beer Fest. Beer Fest is a really good one. Those two guys, the fat guy and the other little guy, have a show together about a fire department.
Oh yeah.
But I don't really see the others doing much. So I mean, I don't.
Why did Bill Paxton have to die?
Dude, Bill Paxton is in so much people didn't realize.
Yeah.
I noticed it's like he was in Terminator, and I didn't know that. He's one of the thugs at the very beginning of the first Terminator, where he's like, "Give me your clothes," and they're like, "Come take them," or whatever they say. Mm-hmm. What a corny line! Like, yeah, take them. Like,
come take them.
He's in that. One of my favorite Bill Paxton movies of all time was A Simple Plan with Billy Bob Thornton. That's a really good movie. And then I love Twister. I'm a fucking sucker for Twister, dude. That movie's awesome. I love Twister too. That was such ahead of its time as far as CGI. The way it looks real. Like, they did such a good job on that film. I always wanted them to make a sequel, or I don't want them to remake it, but I think that, something like a tornado movie would be epic.
An actual legit tornado movie.
Yeah.
Not some stupid
Night of the Twisters or some shit.
Yeah, Sharknado.
Yeah.
Polar bears and sharks now.
They're putting clowns in tornadoes now. Do you know that? They've got Clown-nado and shit. The NATOs are getting out of hand.
Yeah, dude.
But I think that's part of, like, people trying to go back to, like, the 1940s and 50s when it was like, oh, the creature from outer space,
Right.
The big ants are coming to get us. The killer tomatoes, I think we're trying to go back to that.
Right.
One movie I was really excited before the Rona hit, I was super excited for Kong versus Godzilla.
Yeah.
I love those fucking movies, especially the new ones. One thing people don't talk about, though, is they always talk about the original from the 1930s.
Right.
They never talk about the one with Jeff Bridges from 1970-something. There's two of them. Oh. There's King Kong and then Kong Lives. Two wonderful movies that nobody talks about. It's a remake, basically, in the 70s. But they got like a dude in a gorilla suit, which sounds corny, but they pulled it off. Like, they pulled it off. Like, there's a scene from Kong Lives, or I believe it's Kong Lives, where there's a female Kong, and they're trying to keep them separate, but then it's a love story between the two Kongs.
Oh.
And there's a scene where there's an alligator in this, like, pond, and Kong reaches down and grabs it and bites its head off, but when it comes back up, it's a lizard. You know what I mean? It's very obvious.
Right.
But they did a really good job on it. I thought those movies were really cool. I watched them as a kid. And nobody talks about those, you know what I mean? Which is weird because Jeff Bridges is huge.
Yeah.
The dude, he was very young in it.
The dude abides.
He was very young in it. And I actually liked, believe it or not, I liked Peter Jackson's Kong. I liked his King Kong with Jack Black.
That was okay, yeah.
It wasn't the best. It certainly wasn't the best
I like
Kong.
the one that came, it came after that one, had John C. Reilly in it.
Yes, the newer ones, the MonsterVerse ones. Yeah.
Like these other people end up like on this island, and John C. Reilly, he's been there a while. Like, he's already befriended the indigenous
I've seen that movie 1,000 times. I love it.
Oh, dude, I love it. And
Samuel
actually, Kong's like the protector of that island and shit, and like the humans rely on him.
Who do you think would win between King Kong and Godzilla?
Oh man, dude, I think.
What's weird about both of them is they're both anti-heroes. Like, Godzilla, in the original Godzilla, was a destroyer of Japan. It was the enemy. Mm-hmm. And then the later films made it to where, there's Mothra, there's Ghidorah, there's all these other big ones, and we can keep Godzilla here to fight them off. But he wasn't a good guy. He started out the bad guy who destroys Japan. He was burning, the town down. He was the monster of the film. And then he became the hero, and that's how the newer one was they have the mutant Mutos, or whatever the fuck they're called, those big creatures that Godzilla has to protect New York or whatever, and it fights them off and then just goes back in the water all peaceful. It doesn't fuck with us. They've made it a hero, but they've also made Kong a hero too. Kong's the guardian of the island, and it's interesting that you want both of them to win, but they've decided that they're going to have an indefinite winner. Somebody's going to win. Somebody's going to die. Somebody's going to win. They said we're not going to do the corny Freddy versus Jason route where they both win. It's, you know, somebody's gone.
I think it's going to be Godzilla.
I thought that was cool.
Godzilla.
And
Godzilla's going to win.
Well, I think more people relate with Kong. I bet Kong wins.
Well, just because people, I don't know.
I think Kong's gonna fuck. What would be really cool is in one of the Godzillas.
You're right. I totally changed my. Something just hit me, dude.
Like, Kong's more relatable.
Kong's gonna
humans,
win. Yeah. Kong's going to. I mean, think about it. He's a great ape, closer to human development than Godzilla is. Godzilla is powerful.
If they would have went with Godzilla's original story, Godzilla was always the monster. They used him later on to fight off the bigger monsters, but the Japanese original film was him destroying Japan. Right. So I would rather Kong win just because I think
Kong would end up outsmarting him, kind of in consequence.
Godzilla breathes fire.
And yeah.
It's the only thing.
Like blue laser fire nowadays, but Kong would probably be able to outwit that.
Glazilla, pretty much like the
Kong's smart.
Godzilla when he rips open the mouth of that creature in that one Godzilla movie, and he breathes the fire down its neck to kill it. I thought that was so badass. Yeah. But if he does that to Kong, it's over. I feel like Kong, being that big of an ape, that size, could take Godzilla's jaw and just rip it off. I feel like he could fuck Godzilla up, and people don't even give him credit for that.
Well, it's all on how they, it's all going to be about the size comparison in that movie. Because if you look at Kong movies and you look at Godzilla movies, you're going to be able to tell that both those scales for both those characters change. Through movie after movie.
I've seen the scales of both of them, Kong and Godzilla. Kong is supposed to be just like a teen, basically, in the new Kong movie. The King Kong movie, Skull Island, they've explained basically he's a teen and he's not done growing. So by the time he gets to Godzilla, they're going to be evenly matched. But Godzilla's so big, it's like, how fucking big are you going to make Kong? That was the big debate when they announced it. Was how are you going to do that?
It's kind of like like Batman. He's going to outsmart him.
Mm-hmm. That's what.
He's going to be ready. He's going to have whatever contingency he needs, or be able to figure out what that contingency should be, and then.
I already know how this film's going to go though, because it's going to be they're going to fight each other. They're not going to like each other, but by the end, there's going to be a bigger threat, and they've got to team up.
They're
going to
respect each other.
Yeah, they've got to work together. I already see that coming, but who knows? They could do something different. We don't fucking know.
Right. That would be cool. And then they start their little feud, and then there's something else that's happening, and it's like, oh fuck, like this thing's gonna kill both of them. Like
so we gotta
for their own best interest, they both have to turn against.
We just wrote a Godzilla versus
and then
Kong script.
They fucking take it the fuck down. It's epic and awesome. And then you see Kong standing there, just like kind of giving that like. We did it, like it's gonna be all right. Starts to turn around and walk away, and be like Godzilla's like.
And then you got the Rock
right there, like you hear Godzilla shrill fucking roar in the background.
You got the Rock on the mountain in the mid-credit scene, ripping his glasses off, just staring off in the distance, like,
oh man, this is bad.
Not again.
Here it comes. He calls his wife, honey, get the kids, and then
get the kids. Looks like it's gonna be a cold winter. I don't know. Anyway, that was CNL.
Do you know what happens to a skyscraper when it gets a giant shit dropped on it?
Looks like I'm gonna have to take the monkey and the lizard out myself. The Rock says it ends
time to rain minivans.
Can you smell? It's so stupid.
You can't smell me.
Anyway, that was CNL.
Yeah.
We love you guys.
Have a good one.
We're going to have another episode
Leave
soon.
some comments, man.
Leave some comments, like, subscribe. This episode and all episodes are usually brought to you by Kratom, OPMS Kratom, and Anchor Fence.
Anchor Fence Company.
Come get a picket in your ass.
Any size.
Any size. Tall, small, we don't care.
There's something you think we should be going over or something we missed? Tell us.
Yeah, if you want us to talk about something, if you want to call in, whatever, we'll figure it out. Just get a hold of us.
Do it. I dare you.
We love you guys.
Take it easy.
Bye.